Hey, folks in the chat and everybody else that's here with us right now. I apologize with a slight delay that we've had. A little bit of technical difficulties here. In any case, I just want to share that this week we're taking a leap and inviting you to take one with us as we make some bold predictions about what's next or what should be next for MeteorJS. Seems like we keep talking about 3.0, new releases, downloads, installations and fixes, testing it, all to get you over the hump towards the promised land of Node.js parity. If you've seen the animated movie Ice Age, it's a little bit of how it feels to us, our journey, the migration. So we thought we'd give us all a little bit of a break. We're still doing the news this week, mentioning where you can go and, get and where you can go for a talk or to give one. But today, if you stick with us, I promise you that we'll dream a little dream together. And that's the dream of what happens after Meteor 3.0. Okay. As you can see, I'm working with notes. It's a little different than how I'm doing this. I work with notes typically online, but not always. In any case, I'll make a bet with you right now that if you've stuck with us for long from the first episode, you'll know that this is the 24th episode. And if I'm right, and sometimes I am, then you've also heard me say you're watching or listening to This Week in MeteorJS, a new segment of the MeteorJS Dispatches Weekly Podcast, a resource for both new and veteran users, hosted by the Meteor community ambassadors who share information, events, activities, and other newsworthy items. My name is Alim Gafar in New York City, and while the Yan brothers are not with us in the flesh today, they are with us in spirit in the form of recordings. And so with that, I would like to take us straight over to the news and call up my friend Jan Küster to tell us what he has heard.
Hey, fellow Meteorites. So I'm today broadcasting from my car. I'm on the road, and that's a pre-recorded video. The first topic I want to talk about is the linked X post from Felipe and the...
Here we go. Meteor 3 gets released.
Sorry about that, guys. That is a little bit of a glitch. Let me fix that because that was not...
Hey, fellow Meteorites. So I'm today broadcasting from my car. I'm on the road, and that's a pre-recorded video. The first topic I want to talk about is the linked X post from Felipe and the corresponding forum post about Meteor becoming a part of the official React.js docs. This is super important for all of us. You know why? Here's the thing. React is by far the most beloved or most used, most widespread front-end tool or library out there. And frameworks that are listed in the React docs, they are recognized, or they are at least perceived by lots of people, because this is where people look up things. And when Meteor would be listed in these docs, that would be such an awesome boost for Meteor. So it's not under the radar, but it becomes visible to many more people. And it's important also because Meteor did so much efforts for integrating with React. I think from what I understood from Felipe's post is that Meteor did the most or the biggest efforts to integrate React way more than with any other front-end engine. And so if you want to help out, it's very easy. If you have a GitHub account, please look up the linked posts, and there is a link to the GitHub discussion. Look up the comment from Felipe, which already got some upvotes and some hearts, and add your upvote, your heart, your emotional reaction to raise the counter, to get the people know this is important for us. We are a community. We stand together. We are active. Meteor is alive. Don't comment, because if you add a comment, then it's starting to feel like spam, and that's rather annoying. Just add your like, raise up the counter, and you will help. I mean, usually it's like I don't like the idea of you can help the world with a like, but in that case you will help a lot. And please also, if you're on X, please share the post. Upvote the post, comment the post, raise it up in the algorithm so people get awareness and maybe others join and help out. That would be so great. This is an effort we all have to do to show Meteor is alive and needs to be part of the broader ecosystem. It needs to be recognized as such. That's the most important here, right? And with that, I'm done with that topic and give it to the next. Hey, fellow Meteorites.
This is why I need Storyteller with me. He is much better at managing the controls of this software and queuing things up well. Well, let me move on to the next part of the news. Storyteller has a few things that he wants to add, and let me get him on. All right, Storyteller, what do you have to say?
Hello, everybody. Here's Jan Dvorak coming to you from the capital of Poland, Warsaw. I have today for you two news. First of all, let's get it on the screen here. Meteor 2.15 is coming out. As of time of this recording, it's at 2.15 RC1, release Connect 1, and most likely to be released either around this time or early next week. So it is, as I said last week, we have MongoDB 7, we have updated underscore, and a few fixes around. So that's the first quick news. It's a quick release to get everything ready for the switch to MongoDB version 7 on Atlas, so that you have that, if you use MongoDB Cloud, aka Atlas, so you have that ready for that release, because the change is going to happen soon. Of course, you are also going to have MongoDB 7 Meteor 3 as well. So that is all, we could say, according to plan. Second piece of news is from the forums. We have two new categories to add to our, let's say, growing list of categories, as I am trying constantly to categorize the forum and improve everything as go. These two categories are, so let me put that on screen as here, is the PWA, which stands for Progressive Web Apps. So that's pretty much an enhancement that Google made, that you can slowly, or through a code, you can add some additional functionality, native functionalities to your web application. So very exciting thing, and very happy that Meteor is moving towards this as well. We have also some interesting discussion on the Meteor GitHub as well, so check that out on that. And the second, always a big discussion, is security. So now we have a dedicated security category on the forums. So check it out. I'm slowly moving there, all the security discussions that I can find, and there will be more. So if you have any issues or questions about security, now we have a dedicated place to ask them and that we can discuss and resolve. So I'll be back next week with regular scheduling. Please be sure to like this episode so I know that you want me back. If you don't like it, then I might reconsider and maybe stay away for a little bit longer. Anyways, I'll see you soon. Back to you, Alim.
Thanks, storyteller. And with that, we're done with the news. Very short segment this time around. I'd like to share with you just one of these resources that we found recently, and let me get that set up so that I can share that with you. It is an article that we discovered by, I'm trying to remember who contributed this, whether it was one of the Yons or myself, I can't remember. But it's an article that is actually less of an article. It's more of just a resource by Adiosami that covers the JavaScript loading priorities. And the title of it is JavaScript Loading Priorities in Chrome. And he's created a table that lists out the different tags in the order in which and he highlights the order in which it's given priority by the browser. So this is a great resource. I think it's something that we can all benefit from, and we'll post a link to it. It's on adiosami.com/blog/script-priorities if you want to just go from there. But if not, we'll try to get this into the description of the episode and share that with you. I know that we're a little behind on getting some of the other links that we promised on older episodes into the description. We will be getting to that as soon as we get a little time, but this is where we expect that to go. So let me go back now to here. All right, so what do we have next? Shout outs. Is there anyone here in the chat today? I'm not seeing anybody. I noticed that there were about 2 people in chat, but I don't see any interaction this time. Normally we see some, but I have a feeling it's probably because of the delay in the episode. No worries there. You can always add your thoughts and your ideas and your wishes, whatever they might be, in the comments later on after the episode has closed. And with that, I'd like to say if you're finding some value in this and you've been enjoying these episodes and have not yet subscribed, you might want to consider doing so. Please click on the subscribe button and join our growing community. I believe we were up to 155 members when I took a look this morning, which is great because when we started, we had very few. And now we are growing together, and hopefully we keep giving you material that is useful to you that makes you want to come back. So let me look over at my notes now, which is on a different screen, to see where we should be next. Okay, one other item is going to arise out of this episode, and that is that, that's interesting, and that is that we are going to be expanding upon the predictions that we make today, which is coming up in a couple of minutes, and putting that into a full discussion as a hot topic. And that will be broadcast on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, which I believe will be the 4th of February. And it will run at the typical same start time that this program will run, or should have run, at 9:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, 9:30 in the morning Eastern Daylight Time. So if you're interested in joining us, and we may pull people from the audience to come into the studio and get on camera with us and share their thoughts, we will be going a little deeper into the discussion about our ideas, about where Meteor will be going next or should be going next, and perhaps even the thinking behind that. So that should be an interesting discussion. And if you're interested in joining us, we'd be happy to have you then. So look for that. That's going to be posted later today. And where do we go next after this? So our next item, whoops, I am using the wrong keyboard to navigate. Again, this is why it's really great to have my partners, because I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. They know much better how to do things. I'm going to tell you, I'm a bad video game player. I have to watch other people play because I don't have good hand control on things. So there it is for me. All right. Well, I could give you my predictions right now, but I think the fairer thing to do is to start with what both Jans have thought about. I'll add my bit in afterwards. And then from there, we'll just talk a little bit about where we go from here. All right. So with that, let us get Storyteller's predictions in.
Here we go. Meteor 3 gets released, and it's time to decide what's going to happen next, or at least try to predict what's going to happen next. So here are my 3 humble predictions for this year. As I said, Meteor 3 is going to come out, and I predict that for the rest of the year, we'll be constantly going on how to upgrade, how to move to Meteor 3 or packages, all that stuff. So that is going to be something that I predict is going to be hunting us for the rest of the year. This will be primarily to unmaintained packages, people being just late to the party and being surprised, oh, I actually have to do work to upgrade Meteor for the first time. And kind of with that also is going to come a consolidation of packages and approaches, how to build Meteor apps. And that will be also in order to make things easier. So that's my first prediction. We'll be having this discussion or this topic constantly over and over again as people try to upgrade their packages and their applications, and hopefully sometimes coming back to Meteor and upgrading their old projects. Prediction number 2. I predict that Meteor accounts is going to get a major new feature. I'll just leave it as that as a general. To be more specific, I think we are definitely looking at doing a new accounts package about WebAuthn, which should allow for hardware keys and all the other new ways, like passkeys, to add either second factor authentication, or in case of passkey to also be the main authentication approach. So I think that's going to be a big one. And I will also personally be lobbying so that we have an official Apple OAuth package included in the core. Number 3, I pray that progressive web apps, or PWA for short, will start playing a more important role. And at the very least, we will see some PWA templates for Meteor. I'm hoping we will also see potentially some maybe core packages or even community packages that will help to utilize some of the PWA capabilities within with the Meteor capabilities to have even better experience. So those are my 3 predictions. I think very short and sweet, very conservative in a way on me, because I'm pushing on many of these fronts myself. But what do you guys think? Am I right, or will I be right? We'll see in a year. But what do you think as of today? Anyway, back to you guys. Let me know what you think.
All right. Thanks a lot, Storyteller, for that contribution. And I think there's a lot there for thought. And perhaps you're thinking some of the same things. Perhaps you believe that what Storyteller has shared just now is in line with your thinking. And if so, and you're in the chat right now, please just drop a line in and let us know. But in the meantime, I think Küster has something he wants to share. And so let's get him on.
So, and here are also my predictions for Meteor post 3.0. So, the first one I'm predicting is there will be a catch up with the overall broader ecosystem. We will definitely see ESM support. We will see tree shaking, all that stuff that was still missing due to the big refactoring. And so there will be a focus on becoming standard compliant with the overall ecosystem. I think this is also what people need. The second prediction is FerretDB. FerretDB will become a big player that will be a viable alternative to MongoDB, and there will be people adopting FerretDB. So this is my second prediction. And the third prediction, and this is now an interesting one, Meteor will become visible again. Yeah, that sounds very generic and something, but hear me out. On the first thing, if we as community, of course, will work together to get Meteor back visible, I'm just linking here to the React docs thing. That will be one part, but at the same time, once Meteor is back on Node 20 and will catch up with all the latest Node developments and Node lifecycle, it will be back in the game, definitely. And also because of the async await stuff. But at the same time, we will see Meteor software will do big efforts to raise their community awareness with their new stream and all their new strategies. And what I think is it will become, at the end of the year, Meteor will have double the recognition within the broader JavaScript ecosystem than it has right now. That's my third prediction.
Okay. All right. So at least we didn't loop on that one. So it's great. And I think, there's a lot that I agree with what he's saying there too. And it would be exciting to see a rise or an increase in engagement again with Meteor. And I'm looking forward to it. Here are my thoughts. So I'm going to have to look off to the side because my notes are over here. And my first prediction is that Meteor Cloud's business is going to start supporting generic node workloads. Now, I think it needs to do this out of necessity. First of all, Meteor needs to increase the amount of business it's got in order to generate excess cash flow so that it can reinvest back into the open source community. So from that perspective alone, I think Meteor needs to find new business. And one of the things it can do is find adjacent business from customers that already have Meteor workloads that are running on Galaxy. So if it does that and is able to execute on that well, we will see that Meteor has a growing revenue line, more profit, and can return some of that profit back to the community in terms of investments into community activities, into hackathons, into other things that can promote the growth of the community. So I think that's one thing that that makes sense. And of course, because Meteor is really at the end of the day, when you bundle Meteor and you deploy it, you actually just run a node application. There's no reason that Galaxy should not be able to support that. And as a matter of fact, this is a conversation I've had with Fred and with Felipe in the past, and I know that this is something that can be true. So my hope is that they move in that direction, because I think it's going to mean that there will be some longevity and a longer runway for those of us that adopt Meteor as our platform to build on. The other thing that I want to share is, in my crystal ball, my prognostication here is that we will see the launch of the Community Ambassador 2.0 program in the second quarter of this year. So between March and the end of June, or is that April and the end of June, April and July, we will see the launch of this new program. And we will be, I predict that Meteor software and their community folks, the developer advocacy group, will be working closely on this to make it happen. It'll help explain why Meteor is important, why the community is important, and I predict that there will be a mini conference called Conclave for the ambassadors and for people who are creating, managing, or promoting community within the Meteor ecosystem. So that's prediction number 2. And prediction number 3 is going to be a little bit controversial. My prediction here is that Meteor gets smaller. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the Meteor bundle, the Meteor application itself. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to see, because we notice that Meteor is being adopted by a lot of developing countries where infrastructure, their network infrastructure, is not as mature, or it's far more expensive to push bytes over a line, that we're going to see that as this interest grows, bundle size and the complaints about the bundle size and the amount of data that's being transferred is going to be a point of complaint. And out of necessity, we're going to need to do things and adopt different techniques and technologies so that we are reducing the size of the shell that gets shipped at first pass. We want to make sure that there is still a low, and we don't do a great job with this now, but we're hoping to do better, a shorter and shorter time to first paint and a better user experience in terms of when the application loads on your device, be it a laptop, mobile, or something else. And so I think we're also going to see a lot of emphasis on data transmission and what we can do with that. And I think things like gRCP really need to be considered as part of the core platform as a first-class citizen in order to make these transmissions smaller. So that is my prediction. Those are my 3 items. You've got 9 altogether. There's some overlap. And because of this, I think we're going to have a robust discussion on Sunday. And if you join us then, you might even be one of the lucky ones to be plucked out of the chat. If you've got a camera and a microphone, we'll bring you in and we'll make you part of the discussion. You can give us your opinions. You can share with us where you think it's going to go. I'm talking guys like I know have opinions like Dan Dornhart, like Harry Adele. I know they've got opinions on this, but you don't have to be Harry. You don't have to be Dan. You could be you. And if you're coming, it could be men, it could be somebody else. And if you're coming in and you want to join us in this dreaming that little dream together, then I think we should do so, because I think the more that Meteor Software hears from the community about what they think is important, the more it'll help the direction of the core platform as we move towards version 3.5 or version 4.0. I don't know where this new paradigm will be, but I know that there are things that we yearn for in order to make Meteor great and relevant. And with that, I just want to say, if you haven't had a chance to, please go and hit the like button. Make sure you add a comment in the comments later on. If you're in the chat right now, it looks like we do have a comment. Let me pull it up here. And all right, we've got John Morrow, who says he hopes he can make it. He has a bunch of thoughts. I hope we hear about your thoughts, John. And John, if you can't make it to the event itself and you can't get on, put it in the comments, okay? And that way other people can interact with it and they can share their thoughts and build on it, and we can go from there. And we can pick up on it in a future episode. So John, happy to see you here. Thank you for joining us, and and sharing this thought today. And with that, I'm going to say that please remember that the open source projects that happen here within the community packages or the core development on the platform, yes, there is a staff that works on Meteor core, but there is also about half the people working on it are from the community. And if you have it in you, I would suggest that you reach out, get on GitHub, and see who is looking for sponsorship, and give them sponsorship. Just let them know that you think well of the work that they're doing and that you're grateful for. Demonstrate your gratitude, right, by sponsoring some of these. And as you know, both Jans on this program have GitHub sponsorship links, and they are also in the description. So if you can, please reach out to them, buy them a cup of coffee, let them know that you appreciate them, because they do it on their time and on their dime. And with that, I just want to say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Oh, that's not the way to do it. End the stream here. All right, guys, take care.